What would you say, how to build a champion mindset?
Um, I don't know if there is such a thing as a champion mindset, and the reason why I say that, believe you me, I've worked with some amazing champions, right, in different sports, and they can all have weak moments. I think what it more so is it's a sense of maturity. I think that you sort of compress your feelings at times. Don't allow your emotions to take over. Sit down, compress, analyze, and then look to see how you can platform or move forward from there. I think all champions are going to have doubts at time. Of course they are, all right. And sometimes there's a changing of the guard, but there's no doubts as well with progression as far as success on stage or in your chosen sport. And success doesn't mean a first place. Success could be the fact that you were fighting in the past for a top 10 finish and now you're actually fighting for a top six and then a top four or top three, where you could be fighting for a first place. I think those progressive steps with progression as far as your physique is concerned, and you notice those differences, and do not get caught up with your placing. Your place actually is irrelevant, all right? It means absolutely nothing. What means everything is the fact that you see self-improvement. All right, that's a fact, because there's only one winner. And if you're going into every show thinking that you're a failure if you come second, third, or fourth, or fifth, then that's a really hard pill to swallow, because there's only going to be one winner. Okay, so for me, you focus on the look. If you bring the look, places will take place and credibility will take place, and your sense of self confidence will take place. You walk into a gym environment and you go back to the very beginning years. You may have been bench pressing 100 pounds. You may have been the weakest guy in the gym at one point, all right? Well, as the time goes by, you've seen maturity in your strength, in your development, your exercise execution, and you've been able to see progression as far as your strength going up. And as that strength goes up and you move in the forward direction, your sense of self-confidence is going to take place. So I think it's more down to maturity of extracting, not allowing your emotions to take over, and trying to sort of keep yourself on a very level playing field. I say to all my athletes, stay in your bubble. Don't get consumed with all the noise outside your bubble. Just stay in your bubble, focus on what you need to do, and the results will follow.
And what's your thoughts on all the information online that people are sometimes influenced by? Because I know there's a lot of false information out on social media nowadays.
Okay, so I think, it's probably the same for all industries. Uh, the fitness industry, the bodybuilding industry, and the reason I say the fitness and the bodybuilding, because indirectly they cross-link, right? I think the IFBB Pro League and the NPC Worldwide have done an absolutely incredible job of supporting these athletes by bringing in different divisions. I think there's probably 10, 11 different divisions now, whereas if we go back multiple years, there was just female bodybuilding and there was obviously open class bodybuilding. Now it's obviously into something much more, and it's obviously transitioned because of their visualization of understanding and seeing that people have different body types and they don't all fit into the same boxes, so to speak. So they created different divisions and different platforms. Social media has also grown the industry immensely. But I think the problem is that I think a lot of it is a fucking distraction. I think it's actually really negative.
Mhm.
There are more people more insecure now than there was before. It's like people are seeking that validation or that attention through a social media platform. And also, this is going to really upset some people, and I really don't care, because I do feel for those people which generally do suffer emotionally and mentally. I do think that there's a lot of um, people which have got their own demons going on, so to speak. But I never understand when you have somebody who's saying that they're suffering from social, that they're suffering from emotional or mental health issues.
Something deeper, huh?
Okay, but then they'll go on a social media platform, they'll spill their life story, they'll cry, and in some cases there's a lot of genuineness in that. Okay, and then the next day they're basically seeking attention full time again. There's so much noise out there, and the thing is with social media, people are seeking it, and it's not healthy. Years ago, when people stepped into probably most sports, and especially bodybuilding, They stepped into the industry with the desire of self progression. They wanted to see a sense of their achievements following in the footsteps of their efforts and seeing how they could develop their physique, right? And the only time that you could create some form of praise, you could say, other than self-praise with what you see in the mirror yourself and the changes, when you step on stage and you compete and the judges look at you and they decide where you fit on that stage, right? Now today, it's all about social media likes and comments. I mean, probably half of the social media posts are actually fake and false, right? People create these skits, right, for likes and laughs, but it's all staged. It's not even real. It's not even fucking real. You get more people laughing and commenting on somebody creating something completely fake than the actual progression or the achievement that that person has achieved. And it's kind of messed up. Like, I think that it's not good. I think that that in itself is creating a lot of insecurities in people. Well, are we going to change it? No. Does it sound like I'm being very negative? No, I'm just sort of saying, like, why are you in the gym training? Are you training in the gym and looking for progression and change for yourself, or is it all about social media? So there's a lot of noise, there's a lot of content out there. There's a percentage which is very positive, but I think there's a lot more negative out there than positive as far as information out there. You're always going to get confliction. I could sit down with, say, Milos Sarsias, or I could sit down with Matt Jensen, and we could have a conversation. We could have a positive debate, all right, about our views and opinions on certain subjects within the industry. And we will never lose our self-respect for one another, all right? And we may have different opinions, okay, different opinions. And we've come across those opinions maybe because of our life experiences with our athletes. But then you get these other people who have no experience, have no success in the subject that they're talking about, and they create this content just because they're either trying to sell bullshit or they're trying to get some form of validation for themselves. And I think it's just kind of messed up. I'm very good at, like, going back to what I said 10 minutes ago, I stay in my bubble. I just stick to my lane and stay in my bubble. I don't get consumed with what's going on around. I know who I am. I'm very straight. I'm very direct. I'm very blunt. My intentions are always good. Always, always good. But sometimes people don't like to know the truth, right? There's some people who might listen to this and say, hey, man, this guy's got a really good point. And other people are going to say, this guy's an asshole. Well, maybe it's my opinion. I think the people which are actually thinking I'm an asshole are the people which are putting all that bullshit out there. But that's my opinion, right? Because maybe I'm wrong. But I think, my message to you guys and girls is do your homework. If you're going to listen to somebody who has consistent success. Okay, I think that's really, really important. There's not a coach in the industry who will peak every one of his athletes 100%. It's never happened, it never will. Okay, I'm very fortunate to be really close and in great relationships with the coaches in the industry, and I have huge respect for all of them. I really, really do. And I'm looking forward to seeing those coaches, during the Olympia weekend if we happen to cross paths. But my message for you guys and girls is just keep it simple. Okay, like keep it simple, keep it real, and just be consistent with what you're doing. Don't get consumed because it becomes an addictive environment which is not necessarily happy. Is there a sense of true balance when you're chasing something so hard? Maybe not, but it's always important that you're very mindful of that and you're not just one-dimensional with your approach in anything in life.